Well, that sucked. Not going to pretend it didn't suck. It sucked. I don't think there's any way around that. It was just, it was a tough game. The Florida Gators fell 26-16 to the Kentucky Wildcats. This little post-game episode, we're just going to keep it like 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be pretty short. It's late, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. I think that the biggest point here that we have to make is that offensive play calling was horrendous throughout the entire game. I realize, yes, on the first drive, it looked like Billy Napier, maybe, it looked like Anthony Richardson maybe got banged up, but that offensive play calling was horrendous. There's no way about it. I know that I love him and I've praised him very often. Naquan Wright needs to get his head right or get off the field. That's really what it comes down to, because that was just it was genuinely horrendous all around from front to back. It was just bad football played by the Florida Gators. Will Levis didn't play good football. Kentucky's offense didn't play good football. The Florida Gators played bad football. Anthony Richardson, and I know box score isn't everything. 14 of 35 passing, 143 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Let's talk about the 2 interceptions. We'll review exactly what happened and see what happened on Naquan Wright one. But a ball with no zip on it. Anthony Richardson spent the first half of the game throwing the ball as hard as he could at whoever the receiver was. Didn't matter how close or far they were. He was just like, I'm throwing this ball as hard as I could at you. Naquan Wright's out there in the flats, and he just throws up a duck, pick 6. Horrible, horrible play. The other one, it was a boot, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if Jordan Wright, I believe, is the one that got the interception. Jordan Wright, I don't know if he was in contain or if he was just playing that flat. But he threw it right at him. And I get it, the odds that gets picked are very low, because odds are Jordan Wright will just bat it down and make a play there. But that's not what happened. It got picked. And yay, Anthony Richardson, 2 tackles this season, because he tackled Jordan Wright after he threw a pick, and he made the tackle last week against, I forgot who it was, maybe Cole Bishop on Utah's defense after they picked up the fumble. Horrible. Montrell Johnson, Trevor Etienne need to be the bell cow backs, because Naquan Wright has not been able to get it done. I mean, I don't know if maybe Trevor Etienne doesn't know enough of the playbook at this point. Like I've been saying, like maybe he just doesn't get it. He wasn't this early enrollee, but you've got to just give him the ball. He's the best pure runner on the field right now, consistently. You need to see him on the field. By the way, chat, say whatever you want to say, and I'll get to it in the second half. Right now, we're just talking about the game and how awful that was. If you're a Kentucky fan, welcome. I know I talked a lot of trash. About Kentucky, and Florida showed they were pretenders. Kentucky, they were better than I expected. They were better than I anticipated. Good for them. That was a great game by them defensively. Again, it's a great game by them defensively. That was fantastic showing by their part. Yeah, Anthony Richardson, that was just an awful offense. The play calling, again, I can't get over it. Stop throwing a screen. Just stop throwing wide receiver screens. And also, if you're going to throw them, stop throwing them to Xavier Henderson. Throw him to Ricky Pearsall. Throw him to someone that's more explosive, more dynamic. Yes, Xavier Henderson is pretty fast in terms of strict straight line speed. That's true. But he is not shifty. You throw screens to shifty players that can create after the catch. Give it to Ricky Pearsall. Please throw the ball at Ricky Pearsall. Also, I don't know what happened with getting running backs involved in the passing game. There's Naquan Wright was targeted on that interception. Montrell Johnson had 1 catch for 3 yards. I don't remember, again, off the top of my head, anything's really quick. It was horrible. It was just genuine bad football by the Florida Gators offensively. Defensively, the Florida Gators did pretty solid. I'll say I think the Florida Gators did pretty solid. I will say that I think we're early here still, but we can kind of tell what the story is going to be for the Florida Gators defense throughout this season. In the second half, teams are going to be able to decimate the Gators running the ball, which to me just says Florida's offense needs to get off to a hotter start. That's what that is. In the second half, Utah gashed Florida after a solid showing in the first half by Florida. Here again, what it is that Don't even get me started. Here's the thing with the Gators defense. Their front four, they just not deep enough. They're not deep enough to win that. That's what it is. They're not deep enough to go the entire game. You've got Javon Dexter's phenomenal. Desmond Watson has been playing some pretty good football when he's not gassed. There were certain points where he was on the field and he was gassed, and that's on. I don't know who's in charge of the defensive line rotation. I'm assuming Patrick Toney's in charge of the secondary ones. I'm assuming Sean Spencer's in charge of the defensive line ones. You got to get Desmond Watson off the field sooner. He was so gassed. Doran, I'm keeping it short because I keep all lives short, whether it's post game or recruiting. I keep them like 15 minutes. We'll have a post game show on Monday, and don't worry, I'm gonna rip into this Florida Gators team. I just want to point that one out. I'm not keeping it short because I'm scared of getting talk trash too. I didn't even go live after a win last week. But no, it was bad. I was Adam Mielek, 50-yard field goal. Pretty nice. But I think one of my biggest takeaways from this defense, honestly, that I have a serious, genuine issue with. I think there's a serious, genuine issue with the cornerback rotations. I don't know what it is. Again, I don't know if it's Patrick Toney or if Corey Raymond makes that decision. Stop taking Jason Marshall Jr. and Avery Helm off the field. Stop doing that. It's a stupid idea. Jalen Kimber, either way, I'm not a huge fan of his. I've said this. I don't think he's very impressive compared to the rest of the corner group. He's got a cast on his left hand. He's got a club. Stop putting him on the field. He's clearly not making play. He's not physical enough in the run game, and I believe that's because of that club on his left hand. I believe that's what it is. I believe the club on the left hand is keeping him from being physical in the run game. So I'll say that. And that's not a cop-out. That's not an excuse. That's what I think is happening there. I don't think he's very great in coverage. Devin Moore played pretty solid, but I mean, the corner rotations, just stop it. And there were a lot of rotations. Rashad Torrance got banged up, so Kamari Wilson came in at safety. Titanium Titan. I'm not denying that I talked trash to Kentucky. And at the start of the show, I was like, hey, I talked a lot of trash, and now I got to deal with it. That's what it is. I talked a lot of trash. Florida was not good at all. Offensively, they weren't good at all. We're about to hop into ads for a very quick ad break here. Just to get through that, and then we're going to finish up the second half where I'll talk pretty much just about the chat there. But the Florida Gators going into the season over under 7 games, 6.5, then went up to 7. I took the over. Right now, Florida's 1-1, on pace to not get it. Obviously, that'll change with strength of schedule and who they play, but on pace to not get it. Right now on BetOnline, Gators, I'm assuming their SEC odds and Heisman odds are about to drop. But if you're confident in the rebound, could be a way to make money. BetOnline is your number one source for all of your betting needs and sports information. For the Kentucky fans here, if you're that confident, bet the SEC championship on it. That's what I'm saying. BetOnline, you can bet on anything. It's got not just football, basketball, baseball, soccer, all the fun stuff. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn all about the trends and action. Check out BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Now I'm going to go through the chat, and this is going to be really fun. By the way, I see people arguing like Florida versus Florida action. That doesn't help anybody. Just going to say that. Florida versus Florida action doesn't help anybody. Like the video while we're getting into this because it's going to be a bit. I'll say that. It's going to be a bit. Charles Yates, losing this game would not have been the end of the world, but the fact that AR didn't even look like a Power 5 QB hurts. I mean, I wouldn't say he didn't look like a Power 5 QB, but he did look very bad. Again, I don't know if part of that is because the ankle, I think it was, that looked like it got messed up on that first drive when he took that hit in the backfield, but that is what it is. Chandler heated about the offensive coaching. It sucked. I have no problem being very upfront. I don't think I think that's fair to say. It sucked. The offensive play calling genuinely, truly, outright, legitimately sucked. It was horrible. Too one-dimensional. 3rd and 5. Late in the game. 3rd and 5. And you've got the game on the line. You run, it looked like a read option, but right up the gut. What the heck is going on? Clearly, teams are like, hey, Anthony Richardson, we're not going to let him beat him with the legs. If they run the read option, let the running back take it and let everybody else stop him. So that horrible. That's the issue for me. It's not just the wide receiver screens when no one wants to see them, when they're not working. It's late in the game, you're running the ball. We need to find out as soon as possible just how serious Anthony Richardson's ankle injury is, that they weren't even really letting him throw the ball that much late in the game. It sucked. Brandon Granberg said terrible play calling with Felipe Richardson playing QB. I wouldn't go that far, but is what it is. Richardson has to come back for one more year. I've been saying I think he'll be back next year. I feel like I've been saying that for a while. I think that he had Heisman expectations. He had bad expectations. Odds are he's somewhere in the middle. That's where he'll wind up, which means I think he'll come back if he does that. I love the Gators and a learning curve is a learning curve, but this was a bit of a crash. Yeah, that's the thing, I think. I think it's that there was such a strong showing against Utah, and then you came out and put that stinker out there. It just sucked. It just sucked. If I see another undisguised screen, I'm sorry, but I'm calling for Napier to resign as OC play caller. Chill. I think we'll see the playbook open up. I do think part of it was AR's ankle possibly getting banged up, but it again, it sucked. It's as simple as that. It was just bad football. Play calling's terrible. Right shouldn't touch the field. AR, I'm not going to read that one. I'm not in a place to read that one, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, play calling was terrible. Naquan Wright, like I said, I feel like I spent a lot of this offseason saying Naquan Wright should be the lead back. Through 2 games, and with him, I don't know if it's the ankle still recovering from that or if it's like not getting to work with the offensive line in this new system because of the ankle that like kept him out for a while. He's been clearly the least effective running back at this point. That just is what it is. Honestly, like Lorenzo Lingard is still not seeing the field, by the way. At that point, if you're going to put Naquan on, at least give Lorenzo some run in practice and give him a chance. Because that was just bad. At least you owned up to talking trash and taking the L. Fun game to watch. Kentucky. You thought that game was fun to watch? I don't care who you wanted to win. You think that game was fun? That game sucked on both sides. Like that game sucked on both sides. But I will always own up to talking trash. That comes with the territory. Because I feel like if you're one of those people who talks trash and then you're just like, man, these excuses, then it sucks. It's like, no, I said Florida was going to beat the crap out of Kentucky. Didn't happen. I will own up to any and all trash talk. That comes with the territory of talking trash, and that comes with the territory of I think being a pretty good trash talker. Emory Jones would have won this game. Stop it. It was without a doubt only bad play calling. It was bad play calling. Execution wasn't great. It was bad. Emory would have won this game. Oh no, what a shame. No, it wasn't. It was bad execution. It was bad play calling and bad execution. I think that the blocking on receiver screens wasn't that good. I think not disguising the receiver screens and throwing them the way you did, not very good. Like coming out with 2 tight ends and a bunch set out wide with Xavier Henderson behind them. I'm pretty sure it was Xavier Henderson on that one behind them. That was a stupid call. Ventrell Miller and Michael Tarquin had lower leg injuries. We'll get updates next week. That makes sense why we saw Scooby Williams a lot. I was doing this live commentary situation, like a remote commentary situation. So I wasn't able to hear what commentators were saying about injuries. I know Michael Tarquin got hurt, lower leg injury. Ventrell Miller, I didn't realize that he got hurt at the time. But I was noting that it's very weird when Scooby Williams is playing. That's not something that you really want in that situation where a team is running the ball so much. I like Scooby Williams, but when a team is running the ball and it's obvious that they're going to run the ball, I don't think you should put Scooby Williams on the field. So is that. Y'all trashing AR should just leave the video and quit being Gators fans, please. We don't want you here. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I've been very, I think, consistent in my opinion of Anthony Richardson. He is incredibly talented, one of the most physically gifted human beings on the planet. Wildly inconsistent. Like, did you watch? Because that was pretty inconsistent. So there's that. Emory would have won this. No, he wouldn't. Gosh damn it. Yep. So I read that without reading it. I've been waiting all week for you to eat crow, so keep so cocky this week, and now you're going to keep it short. I talked about that one. I'm going to keep all these live shorts, 15, 20 minutes max. AR still can't see the field. His eyes are pretty good for the most part. I don't know what it is, but for the most part, I feel like his eyes are solid. In his third start, calm the hell down. Yep. Can tell why Mullen didn't play AR. Mullen didn't play AR because he was a child. AR looked lost, kind of. Who calmed down? I don't know who you're talking about. Third starter, not no excuses. Go Cats. Go ahead, Titanium. Like that's the thing. Like if there's still Cats fans in here, talk your talk. I talked a lot of the talk. Talk your talk, and I'll see you next year. I'm gonna talk crazy to you then. Again, I hope you know that. Dornick. Okay, I'm not gonna deal with that petty stuff. Okay. Okay. How about them dogs? I don't even know what you're doing here, Mo. Ethan White wasn't injured and is fine, which means Florida experimented at left guard, which is, by the way, I was doing the remote commentary. If you were listening, I was saying left guard is the position that I worry the most about on this offense. Should have kept Nick Savage. No. Trash. If you feel that way, Kentucky owns Florida. You've won 3 games in like 40 years. Let's settle down. Let's settle down here because that was kind of brazy to get talking to. Oh man. Oh, there's a lot in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna skip through some of these because, like I said, like 20 minutes max. Yes, I did talk a lot of trash. AR was humbled. AR's always been humble. He's not like a cocky dude. Florida wasn't good. Really thought we were going to destroy Kentucky. I did too. Keep more on the field and take out Helm. So, okay, someone tell me, what is the logic? Keep more on the field and take out Helm. What the hell is the issue with Avery Helm that everybody has issues with? Cut the tape. Check the stats. Any metric you look, Avery Helm's solid. What? I don't get it. Shut up. Shut up about it. Like it makes no sense that you're like, we have Jason Marshall Jr. The other corner can't be good. Shut up. Damn. It makes no sense. Keep Helm off the field. Yeah, keep the guy that hasn't given up a touchdown in his career off the field. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Offensive with AR maybe worse than Frank's. Truth is, Napier cost y'all any chance of winning by not punting the ball. That was real stupid. Cousin Eddie, I'm glad that you're here. It was real stupid. It was horrible play calling, horrible management throughout the game. 3rd and 5, running up the gut. Stupid, idiotic play calling. Horrible. Defense played great most of the night. They did, but up front, they don't have enough depth to go when teams are going to run the ball consistently against them. And I mean consistently. I don't mean successfully, but when they stick to the run, Florida's defensive line not built to hold up to it that long. Referee was on Kentucky's side. I'm not gonna deal with that. I don't care about that referee stuff. Good teams will win good games. I don't care about the referees. Way to own up. Props to you. Thanks, Marty. Must be your trash talk was very into. Thank you, Doran. That's what I mean. Like I think I'm a good trash talker. It was fun to do. I'm gonna do it every week. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna talk my trash. I expected 0-2, so I'll take 1-1. That's one way to look at it. I'm glad you're being optimistic there. I expected 1-1, but I expected Utah L, Kentucky win. Roughing the passer call was trash. Yeah, it's hard to call. Refs are buns. They always are, so that means nothing. Yeah, we're trash. We're not trash, but we're not as good as we thought it was. Franks would have run it more. Again, the thing with running is Anthony Richardson looked like he banged up his ankle. I'm sure we'll hear about it. Big Blue Nation, talkie trash. Georgia's the best right now. Yep. Said Anthony got banged up. Florida fans really thought they were 3-5 scores better than Kentucky. I said 2. I said 2. The play calling sucked. Yep, Todd, I'm out. Good luck with the rest of the year. Okay, Marty. Came to see if you would own up, and you did. Props, man. Thanks, Christian. Banged up or not, card for Texas was hurt. More excuses. So can delusional Florida fan admit that rank? I said, Cousin Eddie, I don't know if you watched when I went live for the rankings. I thought we'd be in the 18 to 20 range. So 12 was high for me. Props to you Kentucky fans for winning this game. AR was playing injured. He got injured on the first drive, but he played through and it was bad. Third start was a bad one. Looked confused. So learn from it. Tough experience. Thanks, Jordan. Kentucky, a 1-2 score better team than Florida without their best player, C-Rod. Okay. Napier going for it twice on 4th down cost. Jordan Wright and square studs. Play calling was terrible. Who calls the plays? Billy Napier calls the plays. Jordan Wright back. Yep. I'm not one of those fans that will boast. I wish you Kentucky fans a good season. Naquan shouldn't be starting. Sembo Billy show tonight. I'm not acknowledging that. Sorry. I'm just going to read through. Napier calls the plays. I'm sorry. Like I said, I want to get out of here in like 20 minutes of this. Let's see. Yep. ETN was most talented back out there. Most consistent back as well. This game is not all on Richardson. It was also heavily on Billy Napier. Can you come back, please? Zach, I would love to. I'm looking at the SC game. I'm trying to. I'm trying to work around the SC game. Because I don't think Utah's overrated. I think Utah's a very talented game. I've got a very, very talented team. I think Florida just got the better of them in that one. Crowd played a big factor. Weather played a big factor. Brian, let him be a DCK if he wants to. I have no problem with people being obnoxious because I am incredibly obnoxious when Florida's good. So if you want to be obnoxious, go ahead. Appreciate you, Doran. It's fun to hate on Florida. That's as simple as that. Florida's about Vandy in the East. Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm cutting this. I told you guys I was going to keep it at 20 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lockdown Gators Monday. We're gonna get into it. I got a lot to say. Yeah, Eddie, you're right. You're right. They do have multiple issues, and I'm glad that it's a loss now that I could talk about it because after the win, it was why are you talking bad about Florida after a win? It's a loss. I get to talk bad about it because there's issues here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out Locked On Gators Monday through Saturday during the season. And thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever it is. Appreciate you. See you. Have a great weekend.